Thank you. I was hearing both the speakers who spoken with great details, and particularly from Miss Andrea, who spoke about the sea people and how their struggles have been, how that has aligned with the UDA, how that can and the problems that you face can align with the UDA framework at large. And I think what Professor Mimi has said, that India-Philippines ties overall has deepened over the past couple of years. I would like to draw from your presentations and give a very brief remark. When I say brief, it's truly brief, just about 5 to 7 minutes. But let me tell you that I did work with the think tank of the Ministry of External Affairs of India at some point, and in the last couple of years, there has been deepening relationship between India and Philippines at large. When I changed over in terms of my profession and uh, joined the Jindal School of International Affairs, we had the ambassador of Philippines to India join us for our commencement lecture last year. This is in view of the fact that we celebrated 75 years of India-Philippines relationship. And mind you, we also celebrated in India the 75th year of diplomatic relationship with Indonesia. So two countries which are of great importance to India. I think in terms of the UDA framework, in terms of maritime alignments and convergences, we have a lot of scope in the field. And I would like to congratulate MRC for bringing forth this UDA framework with great passion. And I think in the last couple of years, UDA has been in everybody's minds, and that is what MRC has managed to do. Now, coming back to India's vision and where we can align, I see. I will outline and highlight two main points, and then from a policy perspective, probably give one or 2 points for engagement where we can collaborate. One is, of course, the fact that our defense ties have been, because I've been asked to speak on the strategic angle, and our defense ties have deepened over the a couple of years. Particularly in 2022, India signed a contract worth $374.9 million to supply the BrahMos missile system, and last year we delivered the BrahMos cruise missile. I think that is one area where the UDA framework can fit in, and both countries can see where AI can play a role, where also overall in terms of, because we've had this issue of non-traditional security issue, but also issues of strategic importance like laying down or the need for cables, undersea cables and things like that, areas which are not just hard power security but both soft and hard power mixed together. So point being that security is one area where both India and Philippines are looking towards forging deeper ties. But on another front, when we talk about India's Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, which has 7 pillars where countries are welcome to come in and pitch in on one or any of these 7 pillars. One area is capacity building. One of the pillars is capacity building. And I think India and Philippines, and I think Ms. Andrews spoke about this a bit in detail, that in terms of capacity building, we have a lot of scope. Now, because I come from a educational or academic background, I would like to mention that there has been some MOUs that have been signed in terms of capacity building. We have had, track two dialogues that have taken place between the National Maritime Foundation and the Stratbase ADR. I'm not very sure about which was the partner institution, but if I'm not wrong, it was Stratbase ADR institution. And this MOU initiated a track two dialogue, which means that people like you and I who don't belong to the government per se have a chance to participate and feed into the policy. level. So since this has already been institutionalized, I would like MRC and other partners in the Philippines to continue with this process so that our India Philippines maritime dialogue will continue, and not just at the level of the government but level of the institutions which are below the state level. It could be societies, it could be think tanks, it could be any other academic institution. In terms of also building of capacity building as such, I would like to also talk about the fellowship that there has been a Philippines is beneficiary to Indian technical and economic cooperation uh, initiative, which is ITEC. So a lot of training that you had mentioned, lot of capacity building is already happening at that level. But to that, I would add to what the OP Jindal University is also doing. We have this fellowship called the Naveen Jindal Young Scholars Fellowship that is being offered today. And we do encourage scholars, and because I'm from the international relations background, but however, this fellowship is not limited to that. It could be business school, it could be law, it could be, cultural, say, films and agriculture, or not so much of STEM yet. So not so much of technology, but definitely culture, business, economy, and any other such fields. Scholars from these fields are encouraged to apply, and it's a 1 year fellowship where 3 months, minimum of one, but up to 3 months, the OP Jindal University is offering stay and accommodation and allowing scholars across the world to come and gain from such insight, which means that also capacity building can be facilitated at a university level. So from students to scholars to anybody who is in their early careers are encouraged to come and participate in this. And I'm sure there can be similar things worked out with partner institutions in the Philippines. So the other point therefore would be to highlight these capacity building areas, because it's also a part of India's Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. And I think Philippines and India can play a very good role together in that context. The third point I would like to highlight, again, a bit of a strategic angle there, is the fact that, and this, Ms. Andrea, again, you've brought it out, how you are threatened so many times by Chinese presence in the Indo-Pacific at large, if not particularly. I think so many countries are now dealing with the strategic disadvantage of China's belligerence in the seas. Now, we already have multilateral, or at least alliances that have been formed. And I think India is already part of the Quad, as you all know. But we also see different strategic setups such as AUKUS, which is the United States, UK, and Australia that has come together, more of a direct attack on China, or at least, more of a direct strategic messages against China vis-a-vis, say, a Quad, which doesn't really outrightly say that we are standing here to oppose China per se. But we also see Philippines, for instance, being part of trilateral forum of late, which is the US, Japan, Philippines. So I think what I'm trying to say is that there are many formats through which we can engage. So if there are certain things we feel that an agenda cannot be just taken up at a bilateral level, we always have different formats where we can discuss and take it to a higher level and see how we can cooperate with the region, because some things, as has been mentioned, cannot be done in a nutshell or in a small space. We have to expand that area. So we could engage as a part of our further, a further way to converge and see how we can address different issues, including the blue economy as mentioned. And if I would like to add one point to Mr. Sridharan had initially spoken about the shrimp and seaweed, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, in 2021, there was also a lot of focus on the tuna industry, for instance. So the tuna industry, how India and Philippines can work on getting production high on this aspect. So the underwater domain awareness and the technological side that both the speakers from MRC spoke about can definitely be incorporated in these various things that we are trying to get together. We also obviously have the social sciences way of getting things done, scientific way of getting things done, trade, people to people, and so many things. But ultimately, we do have to keep in mind that Philippines is a part of the larger Southeast Asian region, and there are also many challenges to it. So, from a policy perspective, when we get to work together, we also have to identify these challenges. Of course, the fact that there is a belligerent China that we face is one common challenge. The other, of course, is the fact that we tend to work little slow, then we tend to talk usually. That's what happens, and I think that's only natural. But we will have to see how we can, once we talk today, we'll see how we can actually get things rolling to get, at least from my end, I can say that I would be happy to open up or share this news about the fellowship so that students and scholars can come in and we can collaborate in some way, and we can have a way of capacity building, which is also a part of our Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. We have MRC doing that. We have our scholars who can go there and do things. So just to wind up in the last minute, that yes, from a underwater as such domain awareness, we not only have our we have a degradation, as Dr. Arnab mentioned, of 60% of sonar, and we have degradation in warm tropical waters. But we also have, like he mentioned, not just the hard power uh, to take care of. We have so many softer issues where we can all play a role. So my message would be to combine all of these together and see how we can actually put something to action, and obviously a policy paper or something that we can get together. And I think it is a very good start, since India is, as is said, we are in a Amrit Kal. So from 75 years till the time we reach 100th year of independence, we are celebrating our Amrit Kal, which means the best of things should happen. And I think because we are also in the 75th year of India Philippines relations, this is so timely. And along with, and Indonesia also has this concept of sea and land, so and both of these countries are part of ASEAN. So in fact, the push towards getting ASEAN to do things is also, the onus lies more on you than on India in many ways. So I think at a regional level, so we have to keep in mind bilateral and regional, as well as a broader multilateral or trilateral, any format, which means things that we do at our bilateral levels can be taken to a higher level. Things that we do at scientific, cultural, trade, or any level, people to people level, we need to be able to get things rolling. And of course, the strategic challenges definitely need to be kept in mind. So I think with that, I would hand over the mic to our organizers, and thank you for having me here. And it was great to hear in details each of the speakers. Thank you so much.